Brazzi held a revolver against Hallie's head, and my father told Hallie that either his signature or his brains would be on the contract.
Control, please.
I've been living on these since I was 10. That's why I look so good.
Hold on. Wait till you taste this cocoa. I'm not.
You know what they say, don't you? If you love a man's garden, you gotta love the man.
Oh, she may be weary.
Es que se llamaste golpeador por mí. I love you, but I'm so scared, Frankie. I'm so scared.
Surprise.
When she gets weary.
You know, I don't get many visitors up here, women especially.
With your charms, I'm shocked.
You know, I have done some desperate, foolish things come 3 o'clock in the morning.
Squeeze her, don't tease her, never leave her.
Shit, the yellow flag. Hadn't even opened her up yet. Which way's the curve?
Freeze! Nobody move! He moves, take his head off.
I'm bad. I'm not bad. I'm rotten. Who are you? Call me Dad. In all the 5 boroughs, I'm known. Forget about it. I'm known all over the fucking world.
There was one Napoleon, one Washington, one me.
Say hello to my little friend.
I never fucked anybody over in my life. Didn't have a coat. Now, if I ever see you here again, I will systematically destroy your reputation and your practice and your career, which you know I can do.
It's not personal. It's strictly business.
So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you.
So you never wanted a regular type life? The fuck is that? Barbecues and ball games? Yeah. This regular type life, that your life? When you die, you're gonna regret the things you don't do. There's an absolute morality? Maybe. Then what? This is your life. I always knew what the right path was, but I never took it. You know why? It was too damn hard.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You just sit quiet. We'll handle Sal.
You think I sell him out, you fuck?
I'm with you now. I'm with you.
My integrity would be destroyed if I turned my back on that patient. I can't be clearer. I can't be clearer than that, Joe.
I swear I'll make it up to you. I'm gonna change. I've learned that I have the strength to change.
I don't care if I'm in trouble. I don't care who gets it anymore, including myself.
What I want is that I have a guarantee. No more attempts on my father's life.
You are out of order! You're out of order! You're out of order! The whole trial is out of order!
If I'm gonna have any life in it, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that itch. I choose to rise, not fall. I choose to live, not die. I will not go down that way. Attica! Attica! You think you can take me? Give me a fucking army, you're gonna take me!
If Clemenza can figure a way to have a weapon planted there for her, then I'll kill them both.
Senti me? Mica Dozzi, tu mi capisci, no? Sei italiano come tuo padre? Tuo padre sta male. Quando tu sta meglio, cerchiamo di fare un e mettiamo tutto a posto. Sti fissaria, si deve finire.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for one of the greatest actors of all time, Al Pacino!
Thank you. Whoa!
Oh! Come on! Piqueros!
Well, that certainly was motivating.
Does that mean that we get it for free?
It's here for you, man. It's beautiful. Just beautiful.
I'm good. Okay. So, let me ask you a question. Obviously, we're here at Mega Partnering.
Yeah.
You are Al Pacino, one of the greatest actors
Last
of all.
I looked.
If you give me your cell phone number, I can verify. One of the greatest actors of all time.
Oh, gee, well, thank you for that.
Well, let me ask you a question. How does it feel to be Al Pacino?
Well, it feels many ways, naturally, like all of us, you know. One day you feel one way, but I feel pretty good now, let's put it that way. This is, it's a kind of a bit of a reality check, you know. You take a look at the work you've done, and it's very interesting that I'm still standing here, or sitting here, you know. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for this reception, which was astounding, great, wonderful thing. I recommend it to start the day. It's a good thing. Thank you for
So
that.
we listen to Any Given Sunday to motivate us, and
Yeah.
I'll send you a copy of this to motivate you in the morning.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I know, I'll keep it in my head. It's going to motivate me every day.
So let's talk about Al Pacino, the actor. And there's a difference between, or is there a difference between an artist and a businessman? I mean, you've dealt with all kinds of people for the longest time. You are an artist.
Well, I tell you, I think the businessman and the artist is really, there are things about them that parallel, certainly a certain energy. And what parallels all of us really is appetite for whatever it is. I have to say, the businessman can be creative, really very creative. There's a very creative life. And it's a talent, like anything else is, as well as acting, is a talent. Being an artist, that's something I can't quite say, but there are a lot of great actors that I know, and then there are great actors who are also artists. And it's a long explanation that I don't have neither the intelligence to explain, but I know there's somewhat of a difference.
But just like in business, it takes a certain gravitas to stay on top.
Yeah.
As an actor, most of them, and we live in a town where everybody's a producer, everybody's a scriptwriter, everybody's this, and you've happened to have that sustainability. How long you been acting?
Oh, since I was this high. Maybe lower. I don't know. It's
But
been
how do
my
you-
whole life. I don't know anything else except that time I was a failed businessman for a while.
Oh, what did you feel?
Just joking.
I thought I had a scoop.
That's called timing.
I thought I had a scoop for a minute.
That's why I'm still here, because I have timing.
But you've managed to stay on top of the industry and the profession.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
And so is there a strategy to say, how do we stay on top? How do we, do something better? I mean, what's the thought process when most actors, they just come and go and you've stayed forever?
Well, one thing I could say, I appreciate that, but one thing I could say is when I was, imagine being a young actor and then being asked to be in The Godfather. I mean, The Godfather was this movie at the time which made, I don't know, many of you in this audience were around at that time. It was a long time ago. And there was this explosion and this great film that Coppola made. And because of it, it just exploded. It was the highest grossing film. And it at the same time, it was artistically, if I may say, a viable movie. It was, it's a beautiful looking movie. It's and also commercial at the same time. It's usually you don't get both.
But they
so
didn't
it was
want
very
you.
successful.
But they didn't want you, though. I mean,
Coppola really wanted.
But the
me.
producers did not want you
No,
in The
they didn't.
Godfather.
Producers didn't. The business people did not want me. Sorry about that.
Damn.
Finally, I can get back at you guys. I had no idea. To be honest, I have to be as clearly about that particular time. I was young. I was inexperienced. I had no idea what was in store for me. Who does, really? This guy, Francis Ford Coppola, saw me on stage in New York and just sort of liked me. He liked me and wanted me for another movie. So I went and did went to meet him in San Francisco, which is where his Zoetrope was. And there with him was Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, all these great to-be filmmakers. And I was there. And we went out 4 or 5 nights together talking about this movie he wanted me to do. And it wasn't The Godfather. It was a movie called Love Story, actually. Not The Love Story, but about a college professor who falls in love with one of his students. It was a beautifully written screenplay. As you know, I don't know if you know that Francis Ford Coppola wrote Patton. George C. Scott won the Oscar for it, General Patton. And he is a great writer. And they didn't want me, the producers or whoever. I never was wanted. I do remember that about growing up. I was never sort of wanted. And you get used to it, or you learn to adjust to it. Talk about motivation. But at this time, I went back home, and they said they don't want to take a chance on an unknown, especially one who looks like you. I thought, well, it wasn't the fashionable look, the way I looked in those days. It took Dustin Hoffman to burst on the scene in The Graduate when, short guys suddenly had a break.
So Damien would have a shot in today's market.
Who would?
Damien, the guy, my guy in the back who ran fast.
Oh, Damien.
Yeah.
He's not short. I went and stood right next to him like this, I said, hey, Damien, you're short. No, I didn't. No, he's not short. When I look at Damien, I don't think short. But when I look at you and Damien together, I think short.
Oh, my God.
So what am I saying? Things are relative.
You don't need to say anything else.
Okay.
We can end this.
Okay.
I am happy. Thank you, everyone.
All
Good
right,
night.
thank you very much. This was a short visit.
It's like the Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There it is.
So let's talk about, in today's market,
But the point was that Coppola wanted me, so much so, for this movie called The Godfather. And I didn't have any idea that I was going to be a part of it. I had read the book. I thought it was great. And then I get a phone call in the middle of everything, and it's Francis Coppola on the other end of the phone saying, hi, Al. I said, this is a voice from the past. I said, Francis, he says, hi. I said, hey, man, how are you? I didn't know. He said, I'm good. How are things? I said, how are things in Frisco? You know, he said, really good, you know, things. But I just wanted to tell you something. I got The Godfather to direct. You have to understand, I thought he had lost it, you know. I thought he'd gone crazy, really.
How old were you back then?
I was 28 or something. Yeah. And I thought, this guy's an avant-garde filmmaker. You know, what is he doing? Paramount Pictures is giving him this kind of a movie. I mean, it's the biggest movie of the year. I mean, it was touted as the next Gone with the Wind. And he said, no, they gave me the movie. I said, Francis, that's amazing. I mean, the first thing I thought, and I'll be honest with you, I thought, Paramount's very smart to give this movie to this guy. I just felt his genius when I was in San Francisco. I knew he had something extra. And so there it was, and then I realized it was amazing. I said so, and then he said, and by the way, I'd like you to play Michael. And I had a laugh, you know. I mean, this guy just liked me. What am I gonna? I had no idea. You know, I just said, me? He said, yeah, you. And I thought, there's no way in the world that I'll ever be able to play that part. The powers that be, they think he's crazy. If I think he's crazy, imagine what Paramount Studios must think. Again, I had not gotten more known than I was before. You know, I was just. Anyway, he said it's me. It's a long story, but after a while, I got to get into the picture. And from the moment I got into the picture, they wanted me out. So, you know, just when I, you know, thought I was out, they wanted me back in, you know. So there it was. Francis fought for me. They didn't want Brando. They didn't want me. They were real holdouts. And finally, Brando got in, and then they saw a few minutes from the Panic in Needle Park, which is about 8-minute reel, and they said, well, maybe he can do it. But while I was in it, they were thinking I was going to, it was just, I was on my last legs. Even Francis said to me, Al, I don't know what's going on. I said, I don't know. I don't know either. I'm doing the role. I worked very hard on the part, I have to say. I used to walk I had an apartment on 91st and Broadway. Anybody know Manhattan?
Yes.
91st and Broadway, right down to the Village. I'd walk and back again every day, just thinking about the part, you know, just trying to absorb it, trying to figure it out. Because I thought from the book, it was a difficult role. It was a role that was very low key, very subtle, very nuanced. And I tried to find it in myself somehow. And that took a process, which I was doing at the time. And eventually, I went and played it. So I didn't quite know if I was doing it right or wrong. I was just doing it, taking a chance on the way I believed it should be done.
Isn't the same thing business and acting? I mean, you go in there and you're embodied and you're trying things, and how do you know what's working and what's not and going through your head? Isn't that the same thing in business?
Well, it depends on the kind of business you're in, no? I guess, you know,
we all have a part to play.
We all have a part to play, and I've known businessmen in my life, great ones. And some of them are my real good friends, actually, who I've come to know. And I think it's this idea that you stick to something you connect to. That thing you believe in whatever the deal is, the appetite, like I said earlier, is very important, I think. The appetite to want to get in there and
make things better, make the part better, make the business better.
All of it, yeah. The appetite, as I play a part in a movie that's coming out next month, December, from a Philip Roth novel about an older actor who is losing it in a way. Certainly he's losing his appetite to go out there and perform every night. He's a stage actor. And you see it there a lot of his energy to try to find that way to channel his energy. And it's a very funny, Barry Levinson and Buck Henry wrote the screenplay, Barry Levinson directed. It's a funny movie too, along with its tragedy. And Philip Roth is a great writer. And so the story is about this great actor once
who lost his appetite to act. And how is it revived? How does he get it revived? Because it's a physical thing too. You know, you like an athlete. See, with athletes who go into business, a lot of them do. Probably a few of you out there are athletes. I don't know why I'm giving a business lecture here. I don't know how that ever happened. But so far I feel is I'm trying to make the fucking connections. Doing my best here. But you know, you go out there and you try to find something that'll make you connect, and that's what you do. And
but let's put it this way, isn't acting a business? So the movie comes out. It's a lot more business-like than it was. There's you know, costs and shorter timelines and pressures to make it or not. So let me ask you a question. When the movie's produced, do you sit there opening and saying, is this going to make money? Is this going to work? What if it doesn't work? You know,
well, you want everything to work, whatever that means.
But do you upset? I mean, at this point, do you still like stay up and say, what are the numbers? Do you worry about the numbers, or like whatever happens, happens?
No, I don't worry about the numbers. But I've been in a couple of movies, a few, that got to be #1 that weekend, and it felt good. I have to say, it didn't feel bad. So, I mean, that's something, but you don't think about the numbers. You really don't.
Well, what if the movie doesn't do well? Do you start thinking maybe I'm not going to get the next job, or...
I'm not. And I don't. That's true. That's very true. Unfortunately, you want to talk about this, I'll give you a feeling I have about it, that sometimes when I was a young actor, now this is something you learn from. When I was a young actor, I had to say to my closest, dearest mentor friend, who's passed, Charlie Lawton, I read a script, and every script I read, the worse the script, the more money they offered me to do it. Go figure, right? So talk about who's selling the public short, you know. And the best scripts they didn't want to pay me for. So is there a lesson somewhere in this? I don't know. But I discovered that and thought when I was reading it, I said, this isn't really very good. But they're giving me $88 million for this. So I'm not going to do it. And so I
But isn't that why maybe you're still on top and one of the top actors? Because you didn't sell your soul.
Now you get to the point.
Like Devil's Advocate.
Well, you have to figure out, well, you have to have some sort of censor in you. You can't try to do only films that are good, because you'll never work and nobody will ever go. And that's it. You're over. So you try to find that medium, you know. And,
but I mean, you have kids, right? You have a family, so you got to provide, and you know, nobody wants to work for free. So how do you balance that? Is it a hard decision, or as the artist takes over versus the semantics of, you know what, my craft is, I'm an artist, this is what I stand for, but also have to make a living. So where's the line?
Well, you come here. So, in a lot of ways, you have to understand, you guys are supporting the art here, you know, just know that. So that's where business and art match. That's good.
I get it now. The business model has changed. Your beautiful girlfriend, who, by the way, can you stand up and give her a big round of applause? Al Pacino's girlfriend. Give her a stand up. Give her a round of applause.
Stand up, honey.
Stand up. Wave to everybody. She is.
That's sort of not fair. She was in the dark.
Why don't we have her come up? Come on up. Honey. Come in the light. Give her. Come on. Give her a.
If I kiss her, she'll stay there. Here.
Oh, get the Kodak moment.
See in the light. She's good.
So I want to get the truth. Can we have a live? I'm going to ask you a few questions. Al, sit up.
I'm not even wearing makeup.
Oh no, you're beautiful.
She didn't want to be called.
So, where are you going?
Bye. I'm leaving.
I'm
you guys work, man.
I'm paying you.
You guys work.
I get half of everything.
Yeah, but you get half of everything. Welcome to LA. So. I don't know where he's going. It's Al Pacino.
Do I sit down there or something?
Well, sit down there.
I'm not supposed
this doesn't feel right.
I don't know. I did this to Gene Simmons, and he wasn't upset, so I figured I'd do it again.
All right, I'm ready.
So
she can handle it.
So, what is the real Al Pacino? You're here. I mean, first of all, you're a great, your head is sewed on. You're very nice, very supportive. And who is the real Al Pacino from your perspective?
He caught me completely off guard. I wasn't supposed to be doing
She
this.
I just thought the light. She was not in the light. But that would be hard for her, I think.
No, because she said to me that when you come home, because I asked you,
she never knows who
she never knows which character you're gonna get. And so you said, no, I come home, and you said to me, he goes into completely different character. He comes home like as what you said to me backstage, as like
Kevorkian,
as Kevorkian,
or Phil
you know what I
Spector,
mean?
and then I'm stuck with that person for like 6 months. But I think if you're a businessman and you're working on something and you're closing a really big deal, when you come home, your mind is also somewhere else, and your partner or the person you're with might not think like, did I do something wrong? Are you mad at me? What happened now? And you gotta learn not to take it personally, that we're all going through our own things.
But
in
it's
life.
like
So
we're
I think-
backstage, and it's such an honor for me. I mean, Scarface is my favorite movie, The Godfathers, Any Given Sundays, and he's watching the reels of himself, like, he's surprised that there's such an applause. I mean, his movies play every single night on some channel, one of the greatest actors of all time, if not the, and he's sort of just very coy about it, like this is a surprise to him.
Yeah.
Like, is it just that's because the way he is, or, are we wrong here? Because this is Al Pacino.
But like Al was saying, I think when you do something in life that you really believe in and you're really passionate about, that's, to me, greatness in anything you do
Al,
in
she's
life.
doing a better job than you.
No,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
she
keep interviewing
sure is.
her. Thank
That's
you.
true, baby.
Thank you.
Thanks, honey. I'm going to pay for that.
As long as I get a discount, Al, I don't care.
That's business. That's great.
She's amazing,
She
Al.
is amazing.
But you know what?
Really,
She said
She's
something
wonderful.
backstage that struck me.
Yeah.
And I said these lines, like these famous lines. What are some of the famous lines that stand up in your head of all time of any Al Pacino? Famous lines.
Famous lines I said.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
movie
you say that,
characters?
yeah. Just,
I don't know.
I
I'm
know 'em
sorry.
all.
Oh, well, it was for a long time. I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. That was a big one. That was from God. Then there was the one about,
okay, so you want to play rough? Okay. It's just,
that's really funny business there. Wow.
I kill a communist for free, but for a green card, I come about real nice. Free time.
Is there a revival of this movie somewhere I gotta go see? Good stuff, good action.
Oh, I got a lot more, man.
No, you got a lot of charisma.
I'm a man. That's what, if you don't watch that, then you're not a real man. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes.
No.
It's part of the, man code. You have to know the lines. When do you know, she said to me, sometimes you come up and you don't know when a line is like, I always thought in a movie there has like that aha line. And she was saying that sometimes you go back and it just, you don't even know it.
She's right about that, really right about, because when you're doing it, a line becomes, because it's all about how audiences catch it, when it's out there. They hear it, and that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't. And you're saying it, you're doing it, you have no idea. I mean, say hello to my little friend. Well, but it's the context in which it's set in, with a big old rocket gun there, my little friend. I mean, it has many different, so there we go.
I just like 3 different directions I
And
could
then,
take.
I did this one I do all the time, and people seem to like it, from Son of a Woman, which is, hoo-ah.
No.
Well,
Hold on, Al. I want you to say it like you mean it. You're like, hoo-ah.
Hoo-ah. Hoo-ah. Yeah.
Hoo-ah.
I mean it.
Why don't we have everybody do it, Al? Let's have everybody do it, right?
Oh, I love it, yeah.
3, 2, 1.
I love it.
We're not all businessmen.
Well, no, not at all. No, I can tell that. I mean, that was good. That was good accent.
Let's talk about your biggest failure. Movie, personal. If I say, Al, what is your biggest failure?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. My failures have been, I've had plenty. in my opinion. I've made mistakes. And so I don't regret them, actually. It's an interesting thing. But I admit I made mistakes, things I did for certain reasons sometimes, things I did for some reason.
Like?
There was a time, life, whatever happens. And I think that's all part of who you are.
But is there a specific thing that you're like, I should never have done that? Movie, deal, personal move, moved here, done that?
Oh, yeah, of course. I shouldn't have done that. There was certain things, you say that, but I can't really say that. Can I tell you why? Because everything I have done that worked or didn't work, the stuff that didn't work, sometimes more came out of it. One, I met certain people I would have never met before.
It's true.
I learned about things in a way that I would have never learned before.
So failure is an opportunity.
Oh, please, failure is important. It's just as important as anything else. It's out there for you, failure. Failure is yours. And if you don't run away from it, but absorb it, go with it, it works. It's when you are in denial. I think denial is the big thing. So when you're in denial, that kind of stuff, then it really hurts. But if you take it and say, it humanizes you too. It's hard to cope with it. It's also hard to cope with success. I don't know which is harder.
What do you mean you have a hard time coping with success? I mean, you've been...
Well, I did. Well, because there's a couple of you start feeling ridiculous pressures that you shouldn't, and yet you start to think about things like, oh, I should, the next one. You start to think, I should do better the next time. I should do as good as I did the next. You start to compare yourself with yourself. And that's when you sort of lose track, I think. Or at least I did. I had that a little bit. There was a little taste of that when I was younger. And I just said, no.
So is that like the Scarface days? I mean, because when that came out, it was a huge hit. Did you start thinking you were Tony Montana? Okay, Frank. Okay. You piece of shit.
No, I think you're Tony Montana. I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a very interesting question, though, about the success and failure thing. It really is.
I mean, someone said to me, you're like one of the most humble guys out there, and here are, I mean, you have people flown from 40 different countries.
Well, it's called acting.
So you are 42 years old.
I actually never was 42. I didn't know it. But now I think I might have been, yes.
What drives you? I mean, you don't need to act. You don't need to do movies. You don't need to go back on Broadway in the fall. No. Like, well, what drives you? I mean, you have a family, a beautiful girlfriend. You have it all. You're Al Pacino. You've had the hits, the legends. You're on every channel. What drives you? Why still do
I'm
it?
looking forward to that porch and that rocking chair. That's what drives me. I want to get there. And so whatever's going to get me there, I'm all for it. So I'm going to move on.
Do you have trouble stopping, though? Is it because you love it and then...
I do love it. When I don't like doing this anymore, as the unfortunate actor in the movie I play, called The Humbling, that guy loses his appetite to do it. Can't sustain it anymore. He doesn't want to. He wants to, believe it or not, have a real life, whatever that means. That's where the humor comes in. The actor wants a real life. So it's kind of funny, but in a way, that hasn't happened to me, mercifully. It hasn't. I still, so much of I'm dependent on the writer. As Shakespeare says, the play is the thing. So if there's a play there, it's like a musical score, and you're a musician. And you're reading the score, and these notes are there, and you're playing the notes. And the same thing with acting. If you find a script that has in it things that are approachable to you, things that mirror some of your feelings, so it then becomes a way to express yourself in a piece. And that's all I've known my whole life. And it's taken me all these years, really, to be able to tell the difference between a movie that's going to get closer to what I want to say as an individual or whatever, and a movie that's just there to utilize my instrument, which I can do. They're two different movies. And so as long as that movie remains out there, that I can go out and do with a feeling that I really want to say something in it, I'll keep doing this thing.
What annoys you? Like what just like
That
aggravates?
question really annoys me. No, it doesn't. That's just comic stuff. I'm just being a comedian. I'm sorry. No, that was a good question.
Well, I know.
Now that's good business, you see. That's confidence.
There was a question on the table, sir.
Now it's blank. What is it?
What annoys you?
What annoys me?
Other than the question that annoys you.
What annoys me?
Like pet peeves, like it aggravates you, little things like
Oh, for God's sakes, that's just, everything. Everything. No, you know what happens is you see things as you get a little older, you see things repeating themselves. And not you, by the way. But you start to see people.
What are you saying?
Well, you start to see.
You don't like me?
I like you. I like you a lot, believe it or not. You know, I like you.
Are we videotaping this? No.
I see a lot of things that are like, you see them and you know they're coming. They're sort of predictable. And they do come. You say, oh, no, not that again. No, he's not going to do that, is he? Oh, yeah, okay. I mean in life, not in work. And you see that stuff. That kind of annoys me a little bit, so I try to avoid it.
Oh, let me ask you, what do you like the most about Hollywood and what do you like the least about Hollywood? The movie business, the Hollywood.
I like the weather. There is no Hollywood, really. I mean, there's Hollywood, which makes great movies at times and makes movies that miss. That's Hollywood. Hollywood is full of a lot of different things, a lot of different people. It has opera, it has movies, it has television, it has all these outlets. It has a lot of very, very strange people, very interesting people, people who have talent, people who don't. And it's this composite of people. It's great. It's a great thing. It's been going on for a long time, It's hard to really. I know people, but I can't call them Hollywood. I just know people who do.
What do you don't like about the acting business, the business itself? What don't you like about it?
What I don't like about the business, it's.
Of acting.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I have trouble with right now. In the old days. All the older days, you had time to work on a picture. And in today's world, films that I do, the kind of films I do, are less, they cost less money, they do them for less money, so because the returns aren't as big, because you have so much competitive work out there and stuff. So the bigger movies, like I often say about Hollywood, at the end of the year, they put out the talkies, if you know what I mean. It's an in-joke, you're not getting it. Shall I explain it to you? Well, movies that are more serious, deal with certain issues, are wonderful. Usually they get nominated for Oscars and they win, and not many people go to them, you know what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. But one of the things I have trouble with is that the movies you make that are more or less up in the world that you want to express, they do them so fast. In the old days, they took time to make some of these movies. And it's like half the time you do the movie and half the time it used to take. And I think that's a problem. And I think it reflects in the movies you see from time to time. Certainly the movies I do, I could see it. I could see that, just a couple of 3 more weeks, we could have done more. But there's this rush, sometimes.
The
and
business part
that's something that,
Isn't
that
it-
annoy me or something that you say?
No, it's
Pet peeve?
Well, yeah, pet peeve. It's
Yeah.
annoying. It's, there's little things of the business.
Yeah.
I want to bring up Damien. He got some platform shoes, so he's good for this part. I'm just
Damien, we
Chunk.
missed you.
Don't say that. Come on. What is this, a photo op? You sit down. Well, no, but he's like walking like.
Well, he's on stage. I mean, it's
well,
not walking
you were
back
talking
there.
about how short I was, and Al said that I was a very tall man.
Next to me, he said you're short.
I did a movie with Meryl Streep. I was just going to do this, a thing called, what was it called? What is it? Something. Holy smokes.
I thought you didn't smoke.
Oh, gee. Well, I mean, you know, what was the name of the movie, honey? With Meryl Streep, I do. No, not you don't know, Jay. One before that.
Says who?
She's not listening anyway, so it doesn't matter. Angels in America. Yeah, I did Angels in America with Meryl Streep. And one time she was there, she was playing this character who, I think her name was, this real life character. And she was standing there in the hospital corridor, and I was down the other end, and Mike Nichols was directing her, and she said, watch this, watch this. Meryl Streep was standing and she said to, what was the name of the character she played? What? Ethel Rosenberg. She's playing Ethel Rosenberg and she says, you know, Ethel was short. She was shorter than me. Mike! And Mike says, yeah. She says, Rosenberg was shorter than me. He said, yeah. She says, what are we gonna? She says, okay, wait a minute. And she stands there. And they get all set and stuff like that. I look back, and she was actually shorter than she was before. And I didn't know how she did it. I thought, this is the greatest actress I've ever seen. She makes herself short. There it is. There it is. Anyway, I just bored you to death, so if you can sit down here.
So, hey, this is like devil's advocate.
Can I drink out of this thing?
Yeah, I drank. This is yours.
Oh.
I put my lips on that one.
Oh, wow.
We're not there yet.
Oh, that was close.
Hey, Al, let's do like devil's advocate. So you know the one looks
How do you
straight.
do that?
You know the one that Keanu Reeves is behind you? Look at this one. How do you forget that?
Oh, you mean that pose?
Oh,
He
yes.
wants you to be Keanu Reeves in this one, and he's going to be the devil.
Yeah, well, you know.
I don't follow this at all, man. But we'll keep going.
All right, you ask him his question, I'll just try compose.
Let's hear it.
The question that I've had.
You know what we do to scene stealers where I'm from.
No, Al, could you show us what we do? So my question for you is,
Sure.
What is the definition in Al Pacino's mind of success today in life and business?
Whoa, I'm going to say something that's going to really, everybody's just going to say, oh, time to get this guy out of here. The freedom to go into your own imagination. That's success.
Thank you very much.
My pal. This was sort of like a happening, wasn't it?
It was.
I'm not going now.
No,
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just staying. That's all that's happening.
Give David a big round of applause.
Hey, David. Fantastic.
We got about 7 minutes, Al. So, do you think if I have what it takes to be an actor, and if that's the case, what movie would we be?
Well, you know, there's two kinds of acting. You know, there's certain actors have a facility, they're naturalism, and they have a certain. But it is a different thing when you're playing a character and doing a scene in a movie, and it's also a different thing when you're playing a character in the theater. So that's another. But acting is sort of. I have always believed actors are born, seriously, and there's like no litmus test. You can't go say, hey, doc, you take my blood and find out if I'm an actor. But there is something about the innate actor, and I've always felt that I'm sort of like, I got a little bit of it in me, but I'm not, I've seen actors who are just born to do this. I mean, you can see it. I have other interests, and I don't think I'm a natural as natural an actor as others.
But
that I've met.
do I have what it takes to be an actor, and what movie could we be
No,
in?
I don't think so. You're a little too jumpy. But I think you got it in you. You'd be a good watcher. I think you could really look at a performance and say, I like it, I don't like it. No, I'm joking. I have no idea, unless you try it. The thing about acting is very simple, is it's the ability to have two people in a scene playing other people in front of an audience. And I believe that there's a little difference, of course, with a camera, and there's no audience. It's a different thing. But I do think that ability is you may have a gift to be able to do it, but the more you do it, the more you learn about it. It really is an exercise in doing it over and over again and trying out. Because when I was a young actor and things just having the freedom, the faith. Acting takes a lot of faith, like a lot of things. And in the faith to continue and not to be discouraged by failure, really, like we talked about before.
Earlier.
I think that's what I feel is you see people, and especially young people, I even see it in my kids, and seeing them going, how important that thing to navigate is about having confidence and being able to learn at the same time. But mainly I say, if you have the appetite to be an actor, that's more important than anything. I think that almost desire trumps talent.
It's true.
Because a lot of talented people are so talented, but they don't want to, they don't want to do it. They don't have the desire to do it.
Al, can I be honest with you? So, to research the same way to get into the character.
A little late to start being honest, buddy.
I can't win, don't I? Can't wait for Sly Stallone tomorrow. It's just. Yo.
That hurt a little.
I don't even know what I wanted to ask. What was I asking?
No, you forgot.
What was I asking?
How the hell would I know? I mean, I just you're so excited.
The Meryl Streep thing. What was I? Oh, yeah, but I was to set it up for, okay. Okay, now I'm going to be honest. It's all been bullshit till now. So I did a lot of research to try to interview you. And I looked at probably 50 or 60 interviews online. And I was a little nervous because, A, when it's Al Pacino, number two, the questions and it just didn't seem to click. And I'm sitting here and it's been an hour and it's probably by far one of the best interviews I've ever done. I've had a blast.
Wow.
You guys have a blast? Right? So, we spent almost an hour and a half together from back here and there. Yeah. What do you think about, me, the event, the people, the ambiance? Because obviously this is...
Well, I had a great time here. No, you can feel it. I mean, I've been in a lot of rooms, and I can feel the attention. I can feel the focus. And you are a great interviewer. You're full of... At the same time, you're not fawning at the same time, but you're also... free and you're considerate. I can't tell you. You really did it for me.
Wow.
And for them, I'm sure. The way I look at it.
Stallone sucks. I mean, I just want to point that out. I don't like Stallone. I just want to point that out.
It's about encouragement. If you want to know the truth, there's a play called Orphans by Lyle Kessler. They recently did it on Broadway. And I did it once down in one of the small theaters down here in Los Angeles. And the operative word in the play is this. First of all, this guy comes up against these two guys. They're both orphans. They're brothers, and they live in a house, and they're orphans. And this gangster's on the run, and he winds up in this house with these two kids. One's a bit retarded, and the other is a real, he's really tough. And he's trouble. He's very, and there's a word he uses periodically. It's called encouragement. And I found that word, to me, it really lights me up when I hear it, when I feel it, when I see it. Because I had a teacher in the 8th grade, because I came from the South Bronx. I came from a lower, whatever you want to call it. I don't like that word, lower, but poor. A poor environment with a lot of other kids who were like me. And we grew up, and this teacher in the 8th grade sort of saw something in me, in my acting, because I was in the shows and stuff. So, and she came on her off time. I lived in a tenement on the top floor. Her name was Blanche Rothstein, and she went up 6 flights to the top and went into the apartment and talked to my grandmother at the time, had a cup of coffee with my grandmother, and said that she thought my grandmother should encourage me to continue acting.
Oh.
Now that breaks my heart, it really does, because that's teachers. That's out there.
It's true.
So if you want to say what I'm looking forward in life, and you say the world and how to feel about it, it's that. That's what I'm looking forward to. All over, if that could become the path, so to speak, it's a wonderful thing.
Al, I'm going to ask you to stand up, if you can stand up.
Yes.
As we're about. You're going to walk here with me, here at the front. I want the audience to get your cameras out. You know this. So this is what's called, and Al, I'd like you, right, to look at this. I want you to get into character, right? You're one of the greatest actors of all time.
Get into character.
Encouragement.
It's not going to work, babe.
Or whatever it is. So I want you to be able to say this, right? And maybe anything you want to add, like you really mean it, right? Like you just, put that phone in your pocket, right? Hold on.
Direct me,
Good. All right. We put the card away because they'll look like you know the line, right?
I'm not a quick learner. Oh, you didn't know that? Could you put a teleprompter up there for me?
Oh, you ready? And I want you to be in character. I want you to feel it.
He's making it more difficult for me.
Oh, my bad.
No, he's not. Okay, you ready?
Put the card aside. Don't look at the card, because then people are like, JT gave you the line. You know how people can be. Okay? And then I want you... Go ahead. Sorry.
Just one more time. Every time I'm out, JT Fox pulls me back in.
Al, let's cross our arms. Ladies and gentlemen, Al Pacino!
Everybody. Thank you, Steve.
Amazing.
Great. You're good. Thank you, sir.